I'm going to try to teach a little bit of Chick Corea's Spain. This is a tune, the first time drum machine's going in the background. Let me kill that for a second. Stop. And you'll hear that a lot in this because I'm going to try to play some of the lines to time, and I'm going to try to show some ideas for how to play banjo style backup in a Latin feel for this. But Spain, the first time I heard this was on Return to Forever, which was one of Chick Corea's, I don't think it was his first record, but it was an early one. And I think Stanley Clarke played bass. It was, you know, great band, and this was a signature song for him for a long time. But then years later, I think on Crossing the Tracks, Bela's record, I think he was maybe only 19 when he did it, but they played that tune with Bob Applebaum and Russ Barenberg, I believe, on guitar. But that, you know, that was venturing out at that point in time. Of course, now with all the other things that have been done since those early days of playing, you know, jazz tunes, on a 5-string banjo and 3-finger style, things have, you know, broadened out a lot. But I still love this tune, and it's a great one to learn how to play if you're interested in Latin, jazz, fusion-y type of stuff. I'm going to break this up into a couple, 2 or 3 things. Go listen to the tune, because what I'm going to show you here is not going to really it'll give you a feel for what the tune sounds like, but it won't you know, it won't really be the inspiration for when the tune is going to come from listening to the tune being played either by Bela or Chick Corea. There's a couple other videos on YouTube with Bela and Chick Corea playing them together in a modern setting, and it's just a great tune. I'm going to try to teach this from the perspective of that you who are listening to it understand theory to the point where you understand, you know, diatonic theory in the modes, melodic minor, diminished, and whole tone possible theory, and how those scalar sounds apply to the chords in this tune. I'm going to just expect that you sort of know that. I may stop and break something down occasionally, but I'll try to keep it moving along, so you might have to watch this a few times. I'll move fairly fast. I'm not going to teach the opening rubato piano section. I'm just going to start it with the little ensemble piece that kicks the tune off. And basically, I think the only things I'm really teaching in this is there's an ensemble piece that kicks it off. That. And then there's another ensemble piece which is very famous. Leads into the melody. So I'll show you how to play those things, and I'm going to show you where the melody notes are on the banjo if you want to play it in a single string style or find out something, maybe talk about some of the scale types or chord types that I'm using. And then also I'd like to show you the chords, at least a starter place for chords and a starter place for a banjo-y line to back up, which is it's sort of like an ostinato thing. Ostinato, you know, ostinato is basically a repeating line that then a song is built around, but that repeating line is always happening there. This is sort of ostinato that follows the chords. It's really just a 5-string banjo picking type of a style in a Latin style that will get you through the chord changes. Then last of all, I'll show you some shapes like I have on other videos that might get you at least a starting point for some improvisation. All right, creep up on this a little bit. And I'm still working on some of these things, so some of them might be a little bit rough, as is usual in the videos that I'm always working on everything. Everything you see me post, I'm still working on it. I'm always trying to clean it up, make it a little better. So you'll hear rough stuff. Okay, so to start it off, let me start this drum machine. Hopefully it won't be too crazy, and I'll give you I'll break it down into the initially I'll play the ensemble pieces and then the melody, so you can see. So all this will be linear. 4, 3, 4. So the first opening one is 3, 4. So kind of that's how the tune opens up. Next. Then after that, you go into kind of a sped up version of those changes in the melody, which leads you back into the ensemble pieces. No. So that's kind of the way those parts go. Let me show you up close the fingerings for the two ensemble pieces. Here's the ensemble lines. Here's the beginning. The first one's actually very easy. I'm just playing here. I'm just playing. Then E minor 7, and then F sharp. Here's an F sharp 7 chord. We're going to suss it. Sussing. Now you can just go to a straight F sharp 7 if you want. I tend to alter. In this case, I'm playing an F sharp with a sharp 5. There's your 7, 3, sharp 5, tonic. So here's that again. 4. 2, 3, 4. Now let's look at that melody. So basically it's just most of it's in a D major scale. And the theory behind a lot of this is that this tune is E minor, starts on a G major 7 in the head, but that's just the 4 chord of D major. And the scale is kind of around a D major, except for we're going to land on a B7 at some places. B7 leads back into E minor a lot of times. So here's the melody. I'll do it like this. 2, 3, 4. There's your B7. Now that's the little turnaround place, and that turnaround melody leads you back into, which I'll show you now. Here's the way I play it. There's a bunch of ways of playing it. Molly, my daughter, plays it like this. So I think she plays it more like that in these fingerings. So that's all based around this kind of a sound. And that's using your 5th string for the G. I play it differently. I'm going to play it up here on this, based on this E minor. This. So it's that E minor, but I'm going to play it with an 11 in it. So I'm going to play. Let me kill this for a second since I'm not playing in time. Sorry about that. So. Now she plays it like this, which is fine. I'm playing it like this because it's closer to my hand here, and there's a little teeny gap that I can jump down. And then I basically play this. And the reason I play this up here is because then I can get to that F sharp high here rather than playing. And that's not her fault. That's the way I taught her to play this tune, but I'm just playing it differently. So again, in this tune, it throws in a couple of odd bars. It goes 1. That's where the 1 lands for the next full bar. There's a little odd bar in there. So I'm going to kill this for a second, and then, actually no, I'm going to show, before I close this one, I'm going to play, there's the whole A section, which is really the section that is the main harmony, I mean the main melody, chords, and the section that people solo over. That is, we haven't even gotten to that yet. It's basically the same kinds of changes that are in that little turnaround section that I was telling you about. But the melody's completely different. So the chords in there are starting on a G major 7. Da, 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 da. Then it goes to an F sharp 7. Da, 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 da. So that's the melody. Let me do this with a rhythm machine. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So that's how, now let me just real quickly show you how to play that melody without the drum machine. So that's the melody for the main A section melody, and it's also what we'll be soloing over. I'm going to start a new video, start the chords on that A section, play through that, and then start to give you some ideas of how to do this tune.